In today's video, we are going to talk about the different kinds of investment you can do in Florida. So let's start this video right now. My name is Komal Acharya and I'm a local real estate agent. I'm also investor in Florida. I started my journey as an investor. Like originally I'm from medical field where, I started doing some flips and eventually this became my full-time business right now. Florida is, hub for investment because Florida's cost of living is very much affordable. At the same time, Florida is very famous among tourists. Not only tourists, but also among winter birds. So winter birds there are a bunch of people who buys or who choose Florida as their second home, and they visit Florida in a winter times and just fly back to their states in other times. So in that way, the Florida has a lot of different kind of attraction. Not only just people who is living here, but at the same time they are visiting as a tourist or they are visiting as a winter. Another best advantage in Florida is you can save tons of tax here. Right now I'm helping one of my clients. They are actually moving here. They have a millions of dollars turnover business and they chosen Florida as their state. They're moving from some other country to Florida, to US, and they have chosen Florida just as their hometown just because of saving the tax. I'll give you an example. This family, when they register originally some other states, it's of Michigan, they wrote as a home address, and they have to pay right now almost $25,000 to $30,000 tax extra. Let's say they have chosen that time when they filed their immigration status and wrote a home address as a Florida, this $30,000 they could save in a tax. This is one extreme example. I just recently came to know how Florida can help out the business people, and you can save tons of dollars in a tax, which is just kind of you are giving away for no reason. That's why the Florida is also very good, important hub in United States just for investment purpose, because there's so many other, the attractions you may find, and a lot of turnover happens in Florida. It's a very busy state, and it has a lot of varieties. Let's say some families moves here just for kids, near to Disneyland. Then Orlando is like a center. Florida is like a hub for that. However, some people just like to do, focusing on tourist people. Then Miami, Fort Lauderdale, Daytona, those are like a very famous cities you will find in Florida. So any kind of investment you want to do, that's something you can find out in Florida very, very easily. And a lot of variations in the prices too. If you want to invest something below $200,000 or if you want to invest something millions of dollars, then also you find a lot of choices in Florida. So in this video right now, I'm going to more focus on what are the different kinds of investment would be good to do in Florida, especially on the real estate side. So let's start with number one. Number one is doing the flips. So I started my journey doing a flip. Like originally we bought a house in a, which it's a rundown condition and you can remodel. That's called a flip. So I started with the one house and right now I'm doing a multiple houses a year. So almost like 6 to 7 properties a year we do every single year since I started my journey. So I build up my 20 to 30% of my business just doing a flip. And I'm working on right now with the big groups where we are bringing almost like $4 to $5 million in this market, in the flipping market. So, it's kind of more attractive, So flipping side of the business is a little different works than the rental business because you got to know what you are doing there. Finding the deals right now is difficult. I'll be honest with you. It's not that easy like, in 2008 or 2009, people were making almost 50% of the profit. However, you can still make it between 15% to 30% of the profit yearly doing the flips. So it just depends on the deals. We buy properties to different avenues. So if you want to know more information about that, comment me below. Or if you want to talk in person one-to-one, then also you can contact me. My informations are here. Now, another way people invest here that's very famous to do in Airbnb. Airbnb is like a vacation homes. So this is like a daily rentals. There are a lot of restrictions you may find if you just choose any random building. So you cannot choose any random building while you are doing Airbnb or you're finding a deal for Airbnb. So make sure you have all due diligence done or you have a correct team who does for you. So Airbnb is famous because Florida is famous among tourists. A lot of turnaround happens here. Every year, just in a Fort Lauderdale, we have 80 million people goes in and out. So that's just, I'm talking about tourists. Because of this COVID, recently, I've seen a lot of traffic coming from New York or some other states where it's cold and people wants to live here virtually working in this condition, and they just rent like a short-term rentals. I have my own property, which is like a short-term rental to New Yorker. She's just here for work, and she's giving us the best rent for this property. The details are here on the screen. So that's one example. This property is actually owned by my investor who is in Canada. These things are possible. Like, let's say you are buying something for even yourself, and you can keep the property up to date, furnished, and when you are not visiting here, you can rent it out. That's called like a daily rent. Like this one, which I give an example, that's like a long-term, like a short-term rental we did, not Airbnb, because Airbnb is like a daily rentals. It's like hotel, right? So, every day, or they can do any kind of like a 2 days to even months, they can book. So Airbnb works a little different than just the regular rentals. Now, this brings me to my next point is the regular rental, but in that also short-term rental and long-term rental. So short-term rental is like this, like which I give you example in a Fort Lauderdale property where you can rent for 3 months to 6 months easily. And those targets will be people who wants to live here or maybe want to experience Florida, a little time and then decide to live here long term. So short-term rental works best if the property is furnished. So there are a couple of things you may have to work on beforehand. You got to have a good team in case you are not local here. So those things, it's just not the managing that tenant, but managing the property also very, very essential if you are going for short-term rental. Now, another thing is long-term rental, which is just the regular rental, like where people are renting the property for 12 months or more. So that's like a regular ROI, return of investment, you will expect from there. You have a less management to worry about there because that property doesn't has to be furnished. You can just keep it unfurnished as it is. And also, it just need a regular maintenance, like, if the issue happens, then only they call you. In a short-term rentals or Airbnb, you do have to worry about all this cleaning, the vacancy rate sometimes is more. It depends on where the property is. The location is very much key for buying short-term rental or Airbnb. If you are not kind of prepared to go too high in a number, then I recommend to just do the regular rental. My investor who does the regular rental where either the university areas are or maybe where where the more like a job locations are, so then those kind of rentals gives them 7 to 9% easily in Florida, and the properties are amazing. You can buy something even 150,000 low to going up to you want to go as much high possible. So I first recommend to start with the condo or townhouses, and then as you get more experience, then single families are good. In a single families, you have a more long-term people living there. They may start living, from 2 years to 4 years sometimes. So your vacancy rates are less. However, the maintenance is higher. I have another video where I'm comparing between renting a condo townhouses or renting a single family houses. So you should check out that video if you want to know more about the long-term rental, but in specific, a comparison wise, which one is better for you. So in general, you can do a lot of different ways you can rent a property. So if you want to just buy your second home, then also it is a good idea. It's quite a bit works as an Airbnb, or you can work for like a short-term rental that can make that property work for short-term rentals. So it depends on your strategy. There are many different ways you can rent or you can do the investment in Florida area. Now, talking about the prices, like the Florida it's a very unique, because what I find is lowest, I told you before, lowest you can go even 150,000, going up to, like, depends on your comfortable number. So if you want to buy something near to beach, and you do not want, you're okay to buy something like just across the beach, lowest you can even find around 300,000 or 350,000 dollars. If you want to buy on ocean, and we got to check all those terms, if the rental restrictions are there or not there, because those are very essential things to check out if you are purely buying for investment purpose, or even you are buying for second home, because we want to make sure, while you are not here, you are still getting your income. So those things, I would say rough numbers, starting from 400,000, or even lowest I've seen even 350,000 with at the good condo, and going up to higher, between 600, 700,000, you can get a beautiful property, in Florida area. Let's say you want to target more, family with the kids, or people who are kind of just coming in a long term, and going to stay here. So then also, like a suburb areas in a South Florida areas or Central Florida, that's also really, really good choice. Or if you want to if you want to target the senior citizens, like there are like a winter birds who doesn't want to buy a property, but they just come here in the winter times and stay here. Then also there are a lot of different options, like for example, the West Coast, or even in the South Florida also you find, different cities which is more famous among the retirees, and there are a lot of things close by, because that's what people looks for. So you got to kind of evaluate the location, no matter what kind of investment you are doing here. And let's say you want to do more the flipping side, but in that case, you got to have a very good team. You got to have a good contractors. You got to have the plan from where you are getting those properties. But that's also very much possible in Florida, because the Florida prices are not too crazy. If you have like a 2 or 3 partners, then also you can start something like this very easily. I hope this video is quite a bit helpful to you guys. If you want to know more about investment, or you want to discuss about the plans or strategies, you can comment me below. I would love to chat with you. It's a process, Guys, if you want to do something in an investment in real estate, you got to start today at somewhere. And it's a process to know things. It's a process to get educated. It's a process to gather the team which you want to work for. The good thing is, for me, like, I work with a lot of investors who are not even local. I manage their properties, and we want to give a very good experience, not just the results, so that the process becomes easier for you guys, even though you are not living here. So if you are one of them, you doesn't want to live here, you just want to invest, purely investment, then also we have a very good plans, we can kind of work on together. I hope it's helpful to you guys, and any questions, anything, let me know. I will see you in my next video.